Hi, I'm Crystal Nelson. I'm an ergonomist at Alter Ergo, and today I'm going to be talking to you about ergonomics as it relates to sign makers. So there are plenty of ergonomic equipment items that sign makers can purchase, but before you even make that purchase, I want you to consider three things. So the first one is make sure you always have a good and upright posture. So that means your shoulders back and down and promoting that good spinal position so you can maintain a neutral posture throughout your workday. The second thing I want you to consider is to make sure your arms, when you're working or assembling or putting any of your signs together, is to make sure that your arms are in your comfort zone. So what that means is your elbows should be bent at about 90 to 100 degrees, shoulders should be at about 20 degrees, and arms should be about right in front of you. Once you have to extend your reach, that puts additional strain in your upper back and your neck, and you don't want that. So arms just gently relax by your sides in your comfort zone. And then the third thing I want you to consider is just to make sure you're changing positions frequently throughout your workday. So what needs to be done in standing, what can be done in sitting, and what can be done where you're moving around a little bit more. The goal for ergonomics is just to make sure that you're moving about frequently throughout your workday and not staying in one position all day. So now that we established those three items to consider when you are assembling or making signs, there are some great equipment options that you can add to your toolkit as well. Some of the equipment items to think about is your workstation in general. So the height of your workstation is very important. So you want to make sure that the height of your workstation can allow your arms and upper extremities to be in your comfort zone. So someone like me who's working on a small project would need a lower workstation than someone who is 6'4". They would need a higher workstation to keep your arms in a comfortable position. There are height adjustable tables, or if you're on a budget, or maybe even plugins to use the height adjustable tables, there are turn crank height adjustable tables. And you can also just create one table at a lower setting and then create one table at a higher setting. And depending on your job needs, you just pick the table that's appropriate for you. The other thing to think about is the surface that you're standing on. There are anti-fatigue mats available to help reduce the pressure and force going through your lower extremities, but you want to make sure to get one that isn't too cushiony. So if it's too soft, your body actually has to work harder to keep you balanced. So it should provide some relief, but it shouldn't challenge your ability to remain balanced in a standing position. But even before you consider an anti-fatigue mat, also make sure you're wearing good, comfortable, and supportive shoes. This will provide far more relief for you than a single anti-fatigue mat. And then, as mentioned earlier, make sure you sit down when you're able to. So sitting all day long isn't healthy for you, as we're learning about, but standing all day long isn't healthy either. So if you can change your positions and sit down and rest when you're able to, as long as you can keep your arms in that power zone or comfort zone position, that would be the ultimate goal. Some other things to consider are the overall lighting. So let's say you're doing a small task and maybe weeding some vinyl or assembling a small product. You can add additional task lighting to that piece of work because our posture will always follow our ability to see. If we can't see well, we're going to lean forward. So if you illuminate your workspace, then that will help you promote your neutral and upright posture. You can add maybe a clamp-on magnifying glass to help to see a little better as well. With hand tools, you want to consider what your hand position is in while you're using the tools. So you want to have a grip that's a little larger. Having a small pinch does create more strain and effort for you to maintain that position. So adding built-up handles to a squeegee or to any other smaller equipment tools would be much better for you. Long-handled tools are a great option as well, especially when cutting. You don't have to reach as far. So if you have a cutter on an extended tool, then that will allow you to keep your hands in that comfort zone more frequently. If you are needing to work at an elevated position or reach up to an elevated position, consider standing on a short platform or a short step stool so you don't have to reach up as high to get to those elevated points. We want to keep our arms in a comfortable area so we don't have to overextend our reach. And then the last thing to consider are the fun but sometimes costly automated or semi-automated equipment, especially when pressing vinyl onto a piece of board. It eliminates a lot of the strain that you have to put forward when you're putting that downward force onto an area that's below that shoulder level. So after you implement the 3 positioning tips and all of the ergonomic equipment, the one thing I want you to keep in mind is just make sure you're taking rest breaks throughout the day. This is the most important thing you can do for your body. So a rest break could be a stretch break, it could be stopping your job task and doing a lighter duty task, or it could just be walking around the shop for a little bit too. So implementing a rest break can help you improve your productivity and help you feel better throughout your workday too. I appreciate you joining me today. Feel free to follow us for more ergonomic tips and tricks as they relate to your industry. Thank you.